Oregon wineries, including my daughter, who are in Miami, which is the headquarters of this magazine, celebrating their nomination to this prestigious award. This leads me to the importance of transportation, and I want to list a few points. One, wineries need good surface transportation, not only to enable timely delivery of grapes during harvest, but to ship finished wine to national markets. Almost 60% of wine produced in Oregon is sold out of state. Transportation is critical. Because tourism and on-site sales of wine are crucial aspects of local winery income, wineries are dependent on surface transportation. The bottleneck on the Highway 99W corridor annoys tourists to the point that they don't stop, but just try to get through. Talking to guests who come to our winery has made us realize that the highway congestion is costing us and the other wineries business. A number of Yamhill County wineries in the Newburgh-Dundee area want to expand operations, creating more jobs, but are reluctant to do so until the congestion on the Oregon 99W corridor is reduced or eliminated. I know you are up against huge budget issues in this legislative session, and I appreciate your predicament. I come here tonight to ask your help in getting a major statewide transportation funding package approved this year, because I believe the advantages of doing so are huge and the drawbacks of not doing so are serious. I ask you to invest in Oregon's future by helping us complete the entire bypass. It's time. Job creation, economic development, congestion relief, safety improvements, community livability, greenhouse gas emission reduction, freight traffic improvement, and seismic resiliency will only be achieved by completing the entire project. Thank you for listening. Thank you for convening this town hall.
Hello, my name is Becky Edrick. I live over on 5th Street, just around the corner here. And first I wanted to comment on Dave's comment in that when we moved to Newburgh in 1976, we were reluctant because of 99, and the realtor showed us drawings of a bypass that was going to go around Newburgh in 1976. So 40-odd years ago, we've been waiting for this. That's one. But my question was actually, again, for Dave in okay, because I live right here on 5th Street, it takes me exactly 15 minutes to get from my house to I-5 on McKay Road. So obviously, when I'm commuting that direction, that's where I go. Why would I go through Tigard? Seriously. Why would anybody go through Tigard if you didn't have to? So the question is, what is being done with the reality that most people would prefer to do that, even as much as lovely getting Rex Hill, bypass up there, Tigard's ugly. And McKay's nice. So how do you address that?
Well, and actually that's the right question. And as you'll recall, a long time ago in some of those conversations about a bypass back in the 70s, was a regional bypass that went from 99 across Lambert, Bend and Slough, over across to Woodburn to get people an opportunity to get to I-5. That didn't happen. That doesn't mean that there aren't people that want to do that. So what we have is a situation, there are obviously a lot of people that want to go to the Tigard-Beaverton area because they diffuse into positions of employment in a lot of ways, and making it easier for them to do it will get them out of downtown Dundee, and they will do that in Newburgh. But there is no question there are a lot of people that's goal is to get over to I-5. Lots of trucks, 700 trucks a day in downtown Newburgh and Dundee, and an awful number want to get over to I-5, and that's what the folks from Newburgh are talking about and want down the corridor. So I think it's some of the both. Clearly Marion County understands there's an impact by this facility and that there will be some things that have to be done with McKay Road. But what they don't want to do is to have people that, if they had a way to get around Newburgh and up and go on up towards Six Corners or Sherwood, as you will, and use that road, Marion County wants those people to do that. Don't come over to I-5 because you have to, and then go I-5 and then back into that western Washington County area. So it's some of both.
Thank you all for being here tonight. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
My name is Denise Harvey. I'm on the Tribal Council for the Confederated Tribes of Ron Ron, and I just wanted to talk about the tribe. The tribe's has been a long-term supporter, including making a contribution to the local match for Phase 1. The bypass is critical to the Ron Ron economy as well as the regional and coastal economies. It is critical to improving safety in the corridor. I wanted to touch base a little with the gentleman there that talked about getting his ambulance and fire truck through there. I've been commuting on that highway for the last 15 years, and at 50 miles one way. And I formerly used to work in the emergency room for 18 years, and I will tell you, I find myself yelling at cars to get over so the ambulances and the fire trucks can get through, because nobody knows where to go. They just don't know where to go. And I have seen this tremendous amount of traffic that has just increased so much in the last 15 years. So, you know, Phase 1 is great, but the bypass objectives cannot be fulfilled unless all phases are completed. The bypass is in the region's best interest, the tribe's best interest, and Oregonians' best interest. You know, I talked a little bit about it being a commuter, but Spirit Mountain and the Confederated Tribes of Ron Ron is the largest employer in Polk County. We have over 1,500 employees that have jobs out there, and that safety for them and their commute is crucial. You know, for anyone who, you know, she talked about the wineries wanting to expand and more jobs. It's important for all of us to have that bypass completed. So I'd like to thank you all, representatives, for being here and calling this town hall, and for all of you for coming tonight. I'm also on the bypass committee, so.
Thank you, Mayor. Greg Leo with the Aurora Fire District. I'm the Vice President of the Fire Board. We really would prefer that you not go on Ellen and the K, because the roads just really aren't engineered for the commuter traffic. We currently have a traffic safety initiative going on in this area. Our fire district has rolled on many more traffic accidents in this area. It's really not designed for high-speed commuter traffic. Plus, we have a number of conflicts with farm vehicles. Thank you, it is a great farming area. We want to keep it that way, but when somebody has to move a tractor or, you know, a rake or something down the road, it's tough when you have a lot of high-speed commuters coming by. Speaking as a Marion County resident, I strongly support this. We have got to get this bypass done, and I appreciate the work of our commissioners, Commissioner Brentano, Commissioner Cameron, in working with you to make sure this happens. It's going to take all of us going to Salem to make sure we get the money to do the right thing and finish this bypass. So we're for it, Marion County. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I said I wasn't going to talk, but I guess I will. I'm Joe McIntyre. I've lived in this area for more than 40 years. McMinnville many years, and Newburgh now for 4 or 5. I've heard 2 very important things. First of all, we all agree the bypass needs to be here, so let's skip past that. I've heard 2 important contributions that need to be fleshed out a little bit. This lady here, I wish I'd heard her before. She talked about a local match that the tribes made, and I had actually forgotten about that. Then I heard someone refer to a lodging tax, $500,000 just out there floating around, that they're using to attract more people to an area that doesn't yet have a bypass. I would suggest that we consider using some other taxes, like the lodging taxes, from both Newburgh and McMinnville to contribute to a local match for additional funding. Rather than looking for other ways to get money, why not shift some of the funds from people who need it and are getting the money and using it to attract people they don't need yet, and use it for the bypass. That's just my suggestion, and there are probably other taxes that I don't know anything about that could also be moved to a direction where everyone here agrees that we need it. Thank you.
Sock it to me.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I've heard that tax referred to several times. You folks on the coast have this.
Hi, my name is Scott Parrish. I run EDEC, I'm President and CEO, but I'm also chairman of AOI. And one of the things I'm very much for the bypass, but I want to implore all of you, I think the biggest danger we have is the 4,000 bills in the Senate and House that these folks are going to have to deal with instead of getting down to business. And we have to let the politicians and our governor know, let's prioritize things, let's get our house in order, let's get a transportation bill and get our funding sources going before we deal with those 4,000, because what's going to happen is we're going to deal with those 4,000 bills and we're not getting down to business and get this transportation plan that we need, so we won't have the option to do that. So that's one of the things that scares me the most. I think this group needs to do is implore our politicians that we have to have a transportation bill, because without that, we don't stand a chance. And I've heard that it's kind of an uphill battle, and so I would implore all of you to help our politicians know that this is very, very important.
Mayor, I want to address that for just a minute, just while the guys are here, and that is a huge frustration, is the amount of bills. In 2015, there were over 4,000 bills introduced. Just short of 900 new laws were passed. As pre-session filing means bills that those of us who are already in office could file before the session started. So pre-session filing was a little over 2,000 bills. That means guys like Representative Noble hadn't even got in the door yet to write any bills. So yes, there's a lot of bills. I want to write something on the board. Can I use this board? Is that okay? Yes. Okay. If you want to keep track, may I? Okay. What I put that up there because I want you to know there's an incredible tool for you to use to keep track of everything that goes on in the legislature. OLIS, Oregon Legislative Information System. So if it's got an address this long, so just Google OLIS. And when you get there, you'll be on today's date. You'll be able to see which committee is meeting when, where they're meeting. You can watch live video, live audio. You can watch recorded afterwards. You can see every single bill that any of us have introduced under our name. I've actually read all 2,000 plus now bills because I had nothing to do the last couple of weeks. I was sick, so I read all the bills. So I really want you to get to know that site. Please use it. And the other thing is what somebody mentioned is testifying. We get, God bless the lobbyists, but we get lobbyists all day long walking into our offices, give me, help me. And they get paid to do that. You're not getting paid to do that. I love that we have an Oregon Citizens Lobby. It's not a formal, it's just folks like you, and they come into, you get pushed to the, I can't speak for you guys, but for me, and my chief of staff, Betsy Schultz, is back there, who brought you the coffee tonight, so really, she's the champion. But we push you to the front of the line. I've literally asked lobbyists, I'm sorry, Bob, I don't have time for you, because Betty is coming from Newburgh. So I'm assuming everybody else works that way. You always get precedence. So please come lobby us. Come be lobbyists. I know it takes time. Come to the hearings. You can testify at any hearing. If there's a hearing, and I don't know what there'll be, but of those 2,000 some odd bills, there's going to be hearings on a lot of them. Come to the hearings and testify. You get to sit right at the table and say whatever you want to say for as long as you want to say. So I just really want to encourage you. So get to know that site. Come and testify. I wanted two more things I wanted to get done. One, two, three of us. Is real quick because it is a town hall meeting to let you know, update where we are. I wanted each, Representative Noble, Niram, and myself to give you maybe one priority bill that you were looking for this year, that you're working on, that you're actively wanting to promote. I know I dropped that on you, but would you mind, Representative Noble?
I'd love to give you one. Actually, I've got several. I can't give you any specifics because I'm really concerned about transportation. Have the pleasure of serving with Representative Nierman on the Ways and Means Subcommittee on Transportation. So hopefully we will see a package. That's extremely important. But I've also got some issues with how our spending is. And I'm a PERS recipient, but I think that my great-grandchildren don't need to be paying for that. So at some point we've got to figure out a way to maybe cut our losses. And I'm not, like I said, I'm a recipient. I'm good for holding to our contracts. But we got to figure out how we're going to deal with this long term. Those are some big ones. I've got a few more, but I think those are my main goals right now.
So I want to underscore what Bill said about the OLS website there. It's OregonLegislature.gov. If you go to it, that gets you to that. And one thing you can do once you get there is in the upper right-hand corner, you can subscribe to the notifications on a bill. And so if you find out what bill, and that's kind of the challenge, if you find out what bill it is that you want to watch, and then you subscribe to it, it'll notify you, oh, that bill's coming up in committee on Wednesday or whatever, or that bill passed through that committee and it's going to the House. It passed through the House, it's going to the Senate, so it'll keep you updated on that. That's one of your most powerful tools. So thanks, Bill, for the opportunity to me to flog my little piece of legislation here. But you know, in 2005, the U.S. Congress passed the Real ID Act, and Oregon has never been compliant with that. And we keep getting waivers every year from the federal government. And we're getting to the point now where they give us a waiver every year if we kind of make a little bit of progress on it. And then every year the federal government gets a little bit more grumpier. And so we're making a little bit of progress and the federal governments get grumpier and we're running out of little things to make progress on and the federal government's getting a little bit more grumpy. And so come January of 2018, if things stay the way they are, you'll no longer be able to use your Oregon driver's license to get on a plane or to enter a federal building. And so we have to solve this. And so I'm sponsoring a bill to push through the Real ID Act to have us actually be compliant with that. And this is a good time to do that because, I don't know if you know this, but the DMV has got a really big software project going on right now. And so it's a good opportunity to do that. So any support you have for your legislators to twist their arm about that, that's an important thing to do.
Yeah, go ahead, Tim.
Full disclosure, DMV is part of ODOT.
We have a gentleman back here that has a comment.
Okay, let me real quick get this one in and then we'll go right back. Of the 7 that we have submitted as of today bills, my priority bill for this year is we suffer from hay fever. Does anybody here suffer from hay fever, allergies, anything here living in Oregon? Okay. I would like to see Sudafed brought back, but in a very smart way. Did you know that every single state around Oregon has the same exact process, a federal database in place? So you go into Walgreens and you show a photo ID. It doesn't have to be a driver's license. It can be a Costco card. I don't care what it is, as long as it has your picture and your name on it. You show your photo ID, you sign your name, it goes into a federal database that is paid for by pharmaceutical companies, not by the feds or the state. It's free to us. You get your name put in that database. You get 2 packages of the normal brand dosage of Sudafed, just like we used to, not be over the counter, behind the counter. The pharmacist does this. If you go to Washington right now or Idaho or California, this is what you do. You sign, you get your 2 packages, you're immediately in the database that's only for PSE products, pseudoephedrine products. That then is sent everywhere instantly, so if you go down to Rite Aid, try to buy 2 more packages, they're going to say, I'm sorry, sir, you've already had your 2 packages. That's it. That's all I want to do. I don't want to turn to meth addicts and that start all over again. Billy Bob making it in his bathtub in Mill City. That's not going to happen because it's already happening. It's being brought in by Mexican drug cartels and they have AK-47s. And that's a little bit different. It's a mass problem right now. The meth epidemic is still here. It's still like this. This won't change anything other than it'll help my wife be less grumpy because she likes to use Sudafed when she has a bad cold and hay fever. So that's my priority for this year. Strong motivation. Let me tell you, your wife can, yeah. Let's get that gentleman there.
My name is Jerry Towers, and I've lived here for a long time. And I just have 4 things to say. We have been talking about this Dundee bypass since 1950. That's a long time ago. And about at the same time, they were talking about a 4-lane highway between Portland and Lincoln City. And right now, I can remember when it was a 2-lane road from Tigard to Newburgh. And I've seen some bad wrecks there, and right underneath the overpass, this side of Sherwood. And the west end of Dundee, there's a dip 2-lane highway. There's 4 lanes on each side of that dip. So when that bypass gets finished in Dundee, you're going to have 2 lanes coming off of the bypass going into 1 lane westbound through that dip. And that's going to be a real mess. And right now, traffic is backed up eastbound through that dip for, I don't know how far, but I have seen it back one time, clear up to the truck scales in one direction. So that's all I have to say, but it does need to be fixed. And since 1950, they've been talking. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
One more.
I have a quick question. Thanks. Hey, I'm Brett Baker. I'm on the Yamhill County Parkway Committee. I've been on it for a couple years. My day job is I work for Scott Maloney and the rest of the family here at Austin Ministries. And thank you to the legislators. They've indulged me. I haven't had a chance to talk to Mr. Meerman, but I visited with them all independently, and they all want this as bad as everyone else. So the one question I have is, what can this group do to support you? Because you're all going to have to take some hard votes on a transportation package. What can we do to help you with it?
Well, as I said earlier, lobby. So by coming here, you've lobbied us now. We got the message. I mean, if we didn't already, we already had the message, but we've gotten the message. Again, using that website, look up the chairs of, see, you're on say the sub that you're on again?
It's a Ways and Means Subcommittee on Transportation and Economic Development.
So who would you suggest that people perhaps email, phone call, stop by and visit?
So the co-chair of that committee is David Gomberg, and he's in House District 10, which is Tillamook and Lincoln City, that area there. So he's kind of a little bit, you know, it's not in his district, but he's kind of connected to this project there. So he's the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee that's going to appropriate the money for this. And so you might want to visit him. The other thing, too, is you think, oh, I live in this district, I live in Bill Post's district, so he's my guy. But perhaps you own a business in a different district, or perhaps you have family in another district, or you have some sort of connection to another district, or you grew up in another district, and that district might have a different legislator that's maybe in a different party than us or whatever, and you might go pester them based on that kind of relationship that you have too. So that's an opportunity.
And then being willing to, if you track these, if this is important to you, being willing to take some time to show up. We can talk till we're blue in the face, but if you show up and you talk, it's no different than my office, and I know it's no different in committees. It makes much more sense. It's a larger impact for a citizen to show up and express their views than it is a lobbyist or even another legislator.
Representative Darren, would you write that name on the board there?
And I'll add to Representative Noble, the most impressive thing I saw, and I won't go into what the topic was because it's a controversial topic, but the most impressive thing that I saw in 2016 for citizens was, for the first time ever, I saw chambers. And they were at that, for this particular bill, it was Salem and Kaiser chambers, and there are some chambers came from elsewhere, and I don't remember all of them. But they came to the Capitol. These were regular folks, business owners, came to the Capitol in mass and wore T-shirts, and they protested, which we don't normally see chamber businesses do that kind of thing, business people. And it was impressive, and people changed their thinking by that. So I would say, please don't think that your voice is not powerful. It is. It can make a difference. Like I said, we're hearing from lobbyists all day long, and it starts going blah, Charlie Brown thing. But when we hear from people, we perk up. So with that,
and you are the people.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We wanted to make sure and get done at 8 o'clock to get you home in case there was something you wanted to see on TV. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I want to thank all these guys here. Thank you.
If there was a Newburgh Dundee by
and if you didn't sign the sign-up sheet out at the door, please do sign up the sign-up sheet.
Hi. I have a question for you. Sure. Thanks. Yeah. Again, this is an editorial. So this came out yesterday. They were
that will become a serious hang-up.
We're going to stay true to state as well.
I think it will be, it shouldn't, but it will. And there's actually a statute that prevents Brian, when I was chief of McMinnville, from assisting ICE at all, unless it was criminal. Because of criminal activity nexus.
Because it was going to be a $1 trillion infrastructure package.
The idea that we're considered a sanctuary city.
Not right now.
We just dropped our and I understand that. I mean, it's run like a business. We're paying for this. If you're not going to follow our rules, we'll pull the money back. I think that's good. I'm going to urge my congressman to talk about what we do. And I know what we do is when someone who's here is the head cop. We do involve immigration. And I know Ryan does.
What is ironic about this article,
so it's just there's no criminal activity.
You're talking about Brian here, this is not only about that, but what's coming up. Look who everybody is running to for money right now.
So I guess I should clarify. When they're in jail,
they're going to communication.
Right.
There will be a movement.
So for the first time ever, very, very important.
Yeah, you bet. Light energy against that, but I don't think that public
that's where you're going. Don't quote me on that.
It's serious like this.
Well, sometimes I wonder.
I think it's pretty substantial something.
Well, in the regular period, 1/3 of the state budget is special. There's a third, and we have one of the largest shares in the Pacific Northwest.
I don't want anything to hamper the best. We get a lot of best.
So that's it.
Hi.
And I am an NNA board member, so nonprofit association I work in. And there's probably several issues that I can sit here and talk, but I want to respect your time. Yeah, I definitely would love to come in.
Never put all the cards in the same pot.
I know. I'm really concerned about the minimum wage and the understanding that is imposed on business that we very largely, I think, are held to reduce the state's budgetary implications. I'm also concerned about things like caps and property taxes and all those things. So I just want to make you aware and encourage you to be strongly looking at that, because I do think that we're part of your solution.
Absolutely.
So please don't hurt us.
There's one thing that happens is when our money goes to government, you can take a chunk out.